Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Atlanta. This is the 11th race of the Area 51 Sunday Night Super Speedway Series. I'm Carl Henderson. I'm here with Josh Laston. Laston, how you doing, buddy?
You know what? It's a fantastic Sunday here in virtual Atlanta. We've got one more week after this of the Area 51 Super Speedway League, and it is a tight race to win this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, you can try to save this for a little bit, but I think it's important to go and pull it up now. Really, everything's resting on this. Let's take a look at the points, which are not correct. What is going on there?
Gonna say, right now it is definitely
Nope. That is. I think that is.
Jim Brooks up at the top.
It is pulling up Thursday night series for some reason. Hang on just a second, folks. Let me get that corrected.
And yeah, it's both Jim Brooks and Kevin Freese are tied. And there we go. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah. So as Laston here mentioned, Jim Brooks, Kevin Freese tied at the top, but noticeably missing. Kevin Freese is not here tonight. So Jim Brooks may be able to come out of this as the sole leader.
Well, he's got Dean Wilkinson, who's within sniffing distance. He's one clean race away from actually being in the lead with how the bonus points are for this league. And Dude Conrad, Brandon Briggs, Guy L. Brooks, Gabe Butler, all within 10 points. So it's nothing more than just one good race from those guys and a little bit of a rough night from Jim Brooks. And it's going to come down to probably the last lap of the race next week.
Yeah, I would say you look at your top 7. Those guys probably need to look at a solid finish tonight. Don't necessarily need to win the race, but a solid finish. 8th through, we'll say 8th through 11th. You've got Fairman to Bogart there. They probably need to get a top 3 at the very least if they want a chance at this. And then Frank Rangerback, I believe, is out of this. I'm not mistaken. I think he was in the playoffs, but I don't have that handy either. I guess I can just look at, it's top, oh my goodness, 3-way tie for 14th, because I guess none of them have been here. But with that, let's take a look at qualifying. See who we've got on the track. Actually, we've already got quite a few times then. After reading this is such a short track, they're able to get out and get laps in quickly. It's doing its fun thing here where it overlaps names sometimes. But should be corrected for the race.
But Peter DeBorgia, we're just watching him come into the pits right now. And, I mean, he's in second. Gabe Butler, I'm going to give him the same crap that I give Matt Wagner that every week. That, of course, the guy who made the setup is going to be the pole sitter. But while I will make fun of him a little bit there for that, he puts together great setups for these guys to come out and race. The past few weeks, we've got to see some very clean racing, which ultimately, for me, says it's a darn good setup. As we're going to go ahead and watch Mr. Matt Wagner go ahead and try to set himself a lap. He is currently second.
Yeah, I think there's one lap in this league, so he's already set his lap, but he's coming in. I was just trying to find anyone doing something on track because everyone set their times pretty quickly.
And it looks like the Brooks boys are just, they may not be setting their laps. Just perfectly content to be in the middle of the pack and have that opportunity to save themselves if something goes awry.
That makes me nervous.
That makes me nervous too.
Jim starting further back than Gael, that if you're gonna, start, do something like that, near the back, okay, sure. Getting stuck in the middle of the pack like Gael will be starting, looks like 16th. That makes me a little nervous.
I mean, if it were Talladega, I would think a little bit differently. but this is Atlanta. It's a mile and a half. We're going to have these guys tip to tail and too wide for the most part on a track that's about, well, it's exactly 3/5 the length.
Yeah,
and
it's
the width is the same
and,
situation.
And it's actually much shorter than iRacing Super Speedway, which I don't know if you've heard, but that is a 3-mile track.
It is.
Yeah, so yeah, I honestly, for anyone who didn't qualify, if they're trying to hunt a championship, I look at the past 2 races here. We had 2 cautions in the first one, 4 in the second one, so they haven't been, heavy caution races or anything like that. So I don't know. I don't think I would have. I think I would have qualified. Oh, we've got someone on the track as well. Let's take a look here as Patrick Groover is setting his lap, coming in at the lap. He's not gonna have time.
No, I think that's exactly why he went out, was just to give us something to talk about, if only for a moment.
Well, let's take a look at our grid. Starting in first is Mr. Gabe Butler, and in second, Matt Wagner. Third is Peter DeBorgia, and in fourth, Dude Conrad. Fifth is Eric Laurie, and in sixth, Ryan Decker. Seventh is Bud Steele, and in eighth, Dean Wilkinson. Ninth is Charles Johnson, and 10th, Frank Ranger Jr. 11th, Larry Fairman, and in 12th, Nick Wing. 13th, Edwin Outlaw, and in 14th, Patrick Groover. 15th is Ed Williams Jr., and in 16th, Seth Groover. 17th, Gael Brooks, and in 18th, Joe Delavecchia. 19th is Jim Brooks, and in 20th, Bob Fitzgerald. 21st is Robert Morrison, and in 22nd, Richard Bernius. And in 23rd, Brandon Briggs. And as we're getting gridded up here, we're going to take just a moment to give a call out to our sponsor. It's 4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 4D sim racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way that no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stunts. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
All right, these guys, there's a few that are seeming to take their time to get onto the grid. And looks like those are the only 2 we're waiting on. And of course, one of them is Matt Wagner.
Matt, come on, man.
And he's still using a voice changer out there in the driver chat, so that's going to be fun all night for drivers.
Just thankful he doesn't do it during races.
Yeah, that would drive me insane. And now that I say that on broadcast, he's going to do that too.
Matt, you got to go, buddy. There he goes. Come on. He's not used to having to, he's not used to being on the front row.
He's... You said it.
Well, I'm hopeful this will be a good one tonight. We are looking at probably likely a 3-stop race, almost certainly based on the fuel mileage numbers we heard.
Well, again, we're looking a forced 3-stop.
Right, if we stay green.
If we stay green. So, we're talking 75 laps, so I guess that means we're talking tops of 20.
Yeah, I think that was what I heard, is low 20s. 20 is actually, I think, the number we'd be looking at, but, you get further back in the draft, who knows?
That's true, and we've also seen somebody like Kyle Brooks say that it's a 3-stopper and somehow turn it into a 2.
It wouldn't surprise me if he's going to be clutching it in the corners right at the very beginning.
Well, but the pace car is off, and it's time to get ourselves going. And they hit that Geico restart zone and get moving immediately, and there goes Gabe Butler trying to get the early run, but Matt Wagner's holding strong on that outside with Duke Conrad right behind him. And as we enter turn 1, we're going to start the season.
Yeah, 100%. And almost a second pack has sort of formed as you've got these leaders with a small little connector at the bottom, and someone down on the apron. That was Ed Williams Jr. Probably had some issues there, but no incident, no caution.
No, but these guys, while we are seeing a lot of space towards the back, I think that's probably the smart thing. Some of these guys are going to get a little too aggressive too early, and I'm looking at that outside line as Matt Wagner's starting to get a little bit of a run, as Dude Conrad's doing what he can to kind of just push him, and that outside line is going to be the preferred line as we go through.
Yeah, 100%. I think I agree with you on that. I don't know the track conditions, but for the most part, I think the outside line usually is preferred. But some people can get comfortable, and elsewhere, and we'll have to see how that performs. But I definitely know that I prefer being on the bottom to the trial, if nothing else.
Well, just so you talk about the track conditions, it's only 68 degrees on the track surface.
Yeah,
so
and
these tires are not going to get too damaged. And it's brand new asphalt, so honestly, that low line may be able to hold its own for the entirety of the stint.
Yeah, and the weird thing about the temperatures that we've noticed in this game is, you would expect, cold, good, but sometimes they, if it's low enough, they may not have the grip they need. So we'll have to see, but so far the car is looking very racy.
Well, and this is what we want to see.
Yeah, 100%.
And with these laps only being 30 seconds long, 75 laps, it's gonna fly by to where I would actually, if I was a gambling man, I would say that our first caution, if we have one, is going to come up.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Without a doubt, this is the trickiest pit road pit entry running all season. So yeah, I think we can make it to green flag pit stops. It's gonna be treacherous.
Well, it was one of the trickiest pit entries before they turned it into a super speedway, and now it's a super speedway, and you're going a whole lot faster.
Yeah, 100%. Because we see this lead pack here sticking together. Honestly, I was expecting there to be a little bit of separation, maybe even getting a little bit single file here, but for the most part, these guys not really separating at all.
I don't think that anybody's going to be going too hard with the exception of the 01 and the 02 that were starting at the back of the field and have now joined the tail end of that top line. Those Groover boys, they're going to run hard, no matter what the situation is.
Yeah, Patrick Groover, Seth Groover there lined up 6 spots each. But, hey, I'm going to go back a little bit further to Brandon Briggs, running 13th. He's at 10 spots right now. For a track that's a little tricky to pass at, he's going to look easy.
Well, I mean, it's tricky, but not impossible. It's just a matter of timing, jumping between the lanes as we see him just going where the getting's good, and just gonna pick his way up through the field. He's where he needs to be for now.
Yeah, 100%. Going back up here to the leaders as Gabe Butler here has not really had any pressure for the lead. Matt Wagner's been hanging there with him, but at no point is he, and actually Matt Wagner's now up there by himself until the 55 can get up there to him.
Well, and Dude Conrad, he just wanted to get himself down, get in line with his teammate.
Matt comes down too.
Oh, that is
Matt.
Great.
Yeah, Brave's one word for it. That was a little wild there.
Oh, maybe he got bored. And we're going to go on board with these guys. Patrick Groover just getting right up on that 55, trying to push as hard as he can. And you need to back off before you get into the corners here, otherwise somebody's...
Well, especially now. It comes to the last lap, you might push your luck a little bit.
But these guys, there's no real reason to go ahead and go a little bit big I don't understand why Matt decided to jump down to the low line. Just let yourself be pushed on the top.
Well,
Get your occasional lap led.
I'll tell you why he probably did it, and that's because, sure, we've had 10 unique winners in 10 races this season. It's crazy. However, I would still say you look lap to lap, and Team Buchnaka has been absolutely incredible. And I think, I see he actually dropped the apron there. I'm not sure if he has an issue or what. Matt Wagner falling back quickly. But honestly, the strategy of following those guys is not necessarily that bad. We've got 3 wide here.
Well, that's what happens when you go off pace. He may be trying to drop himself back, get himself connected. He's in with the Roswell guys, so he may be officially on the same page as a few others and trying to get Jim to be the first double winner of the season.
Well, you know, that is interesting. They're in chat together, so.
But right now, Jim Brooks just doing what he needs to do. He's going to be a 0x, and everybody still has the sniff of the draft, and that's all that really matters.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you there. I think at Vega or something, absolutely. I think that's a solid strategy. I think at some point, you know, we've got 6 laps coming up before green flag stops. First of all, he's going to have an incredible stop. I hope he's been practicing. I don't know. I don't like whether...
he's got a little bit of action towards the back of the field, and that's going to bring out the caution.
Trying to find where that was.
That was Edwin Outlaw and Ed Williams Jr.
Oh, yeah, there it goes. Look at that.
It's the worst part of this track.
We're going to go on board here with the 12.
And
yeah. Looks like the 12 just came up a little bit. Got into that 08.
That double dogleg is so difficult to judge when you are right on the tail of someone. And yeah, that is just rough.
Yeah, I mean, I've Guy L. Brooks sitting there before, so although I think that was on Old Atlanta, but same deal.
I remember that race. That was probably about 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago.
Something like that, yeah.
Thursday night,
Thursday night. Guy L. Brooks. Yeah, it's not like the time that he ran back me at Martinsville.
You're never going to let me hear the end of that, but here comes the entire field down pit road, and if I'm going to assume this is going to cut out one of those stops, so this is going to be key because there's only going to be 2 more.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of guys, if they're anything like me, are pretty relieved that the caution came out when it did, because as much as I love calling green flag stops, they are terrifying on track.
I will agree with that. It's why I'm terrible at them. I nurse it on the way in, unlike many of these guys, and that is just a cluster coming off of pit road. But Gabe Butler is going to go ahead and be the first one out. Larry Fairman's next, Wilkinson. That's what he needs to be able to do something and get himself up into this final fight coming into next week.
Yeah, 100%. You know, a lot of these guys that need to have, again, like we said at the start of the broadcast, they don't need to win this race. They need to have good finishes. Dean Wilkinson is one of those guys.
Well, he just needs to have a good finish, but it would be a good night for him.
Oh yeah, 100%. Now, honestly, I mean, I hate that I can't do the live points tracker that we've done in some broadcasts past, just because of the way the points are done in this league. Is we got the 55 coming back in, possibly speeding penalty, or is he topping off?
Possibly top. I'm going to assume topping off.
We'll see how long he sits.
I mean, a speeding penalty would have to be served under green coming. Or
Yeah.
no, it would be an end of longest line.
Yeah, you're right. Well, it depends on if you're speeding on entry or if you're speeding on exit, I think.
Entry would have him sit while he waits.
Yep, you're right.
Before he could come back out.
So that's
Exit
topping
would
off.
be long.
That's interesting to me. I don't know if I would have given up the track position to do that.
He also added tires to the stop, so I'm going to assume that he did fuel only and realized that that was a bad idea.
Yeah, and I've been in that position before too. So Dean Wilkinson, who I was just about to say, if we had the live points tracker, I think he would be ahead of our points leader Jim Brooks right now. But that's all been turned on its head now. I don't know who would be in the lead now. I don't think it'll be Jim. At the points, it's very likely that Duke Conrad would have the points lead right now. It would be tight. It would be very tight. I think Duke Conrad might have about one.
I mean, it's a little early to start that kind of speculation.
You know,
I got a lot of laps, but the pace car is off. And we are ready to get ourselves back to racing. Gabe Butler is going to lead us to the Geico restart zone and wait till the bitter end and get moving. But that's still going to be a good jump on Larry Fairman as he's got Peter DeBorgia just giving him a shove and Seth Groover right behind him. And those three are going to be able to do just amazing things together, even though it looks like that outside line with Patrick Groover pushing 11. Maybe able to get a run coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, and you know, I 100%. You're saying that Gabe Butler got a good jump there on the restart, and that's something you typically don't want at super speedways. I think Atlanta is sort of the exception, though, because you don't have the crazy runs that you get quite like other tracks while you're getting up to speed. So I think if you can get a good jump here, like as you can see here, it's almost gone completely single file.
Yeah, these guys, it wasn't the best start for the outside line. But there's only so much you can do, especially when the people on the low line are on a team and can coordinate a little bit. But yeah, now we're seeing the single file.
Yeah, this couldn't be any more different than the start of the race. As you see the 02 there peeking out. No surprise to Seth Ruger.
Well, and who's that car going to be coming up very quick behind him? Patrick Groover.
Yeah.
Why not get those Grooven boys together?
Yeah, I mean, if I were him, I probably would have waited a little bit before I jumped out. But hey, he gave Patrick pull there, and we'll have to see if they can do anything. I think they're going to need some more help up there, though, as they're starting to get it.
Yeah, I would say with Atlanta, 3 is all the more you really need, because you should be able to side draft as we see the 8 go real low there for a moment. But now, yeah, that run is stalling. And we're starting to see a little bit more separation, and maybe some guys just thinking it's not worth the fight at this point. We're barely.
Oh, someone in the wall, like Matt Wagner.
And he survives and keeps things moving. But just falling back.
Yeah, that 6 is a little scraped up, but otherwise looks fine.
On that beautiful black paint job.
Hey, you're talking about the points lead. Look who's suddenly up to 8. This Mr. Jim Brooks gained a lot on that restart there.
Well, he's got himself linked up with Bud Steele, and you know what? I have a feeling that this is going to be the pair to watch.
Yeah, 100%. Looking at the points over there, something I find interesting. You look at the top 6. Only 2 of those drivers in the top 6 are Chase drivers.
That's the lovely thing about super speedways. Is that it can get a little bit mixed up. I'm not saying that there's no skill. It's just there's a little more of a strategy, and then you do require skill to be able to execute.
There's strategy, there's luck, there's skill. I mean, there's a lot that goes into a super speedway race. That's one reason it's so much fun to one.
Yes. These guys now we're starting to get to the point that it's double file. Groovers are linked up. Just again, we're going to start to see a lot more Brandon Briggs trying to help them get through. Duke Conrad on that outside as well. 48 of Ryan Decker. And when in doubt, there's that 6.
I'll tell you what, those Groover boys stay linked up like they are for the entire race. One of two things is going to happen. They're either going to win this, or they're going to wreck each other.
And with where they are right now, that would mean wrecking the field.
Yeah. They have been right on the bumper and just pushing. And that's why Seth Groover and Patrick Groover are up here right now.
Well, again, that pit stop is probably going to be the perfect timing to where you came in at lap 15, 16, but came in 16, 2 more laps of caution. I don't think that there's going to be anybody that's not going to be able to make it on 2 slots. Even being on the point like we've had Gabe Butler and Seth Groover, I don't think these guys are going to have to do anything different. It's just going to be a pure race.
Yeah, I think, again, if we stay green. If we don't, then things get complicated. But if we can stay green, what I think is going to be really interesting is seeing when people time these pit stops. Because obviously the pit entry is more challenging than other places, so you may want to try to come in with a smaller group so that you're not getting in a situation where you're having to rely on someone else's braking or following a teammate into the grass.
You know too much about that. But it wasn't here.
It wasn't here, you're correct.
It was Talladega. But, no, these guys, Matt Wagner dropping back again. I think he's just in chill mode right now.
Okay, hold on. Have we ever known Matt Wagner to ever be in chill mode?
Yeah, that's But I'm somewhat surprised that there's not more substance to that outside line. Because, I mean, it's the fastest way for some of these guys towards the back to get quite a few positions. Because no one wants to go out there.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by it too. I would have expected some of the guys further back to, drop to the inside, get a huge run, and then, jump to the outside and try to hopefully catch the back end of that train. But nobody really seems to be doing it. I mean, if we go back, you got the 909 there, a little spaced out. Then you have to go quite a ways back. I don't know if we have anybody else in that line. These people aren't taking advantage of it right now.
We see Larry Fairman fan out just a little bit, slowly drop to the back, but I'm just wondering if, we're on 32. We aren't anywhere close to pit stops. Or actually, no, we are actually dangerously close to pit stops.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the caution, I mean, people, we're probably looking at maybe making it lap 40. How much fuel they... we got someone on the wall. That's Matt Wagner involved. Wagner going through the grass, and caution is out.
I don't think that car's going anywhere after that.
Oh, he's got it moving. Let's see if we can see what happened here. Happened very quickly, I feel like. We see we're following Matt Wagner here. The 12 car, I think. 12 car hits the wall, just comes down.
That's one of those unfortunate situations that, and Matt's just a passenger. Unfortunately, iRacing hasn't moved to. Atlanta's one of them that has the fake grass on the infield at this point, isn't it?
I honestly don't know. But I will say this, and I hope Matt's watching the broadcast after, because this is probably one of those situations where Matt's going to say, just look, I have horrible luck, and to a degree that's true. But he shouldn't have been back there to begin with.
Oh, he got damage.
Oh, yeah.
But now he gets to fix it.
Yeah. Gonna have a fresh new car.
If he's not going to go a lap down.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's fine. He's good. He took that fast repair and he went, come back down later and, get that fuel.
Keep himself on that lead lap, but we're stacking up. It's almost like these guys are thinking to themselves, when can we have accidents to make it where we don't get green flag stops?
It's like coordinated. They've planned it out and they just go over the radio and say, all right, whose turn is it? But I mean, honestly, it could be a situation where, I mean, more than any other track we run in this series, tire wear does matter, and it could just be near the end of these runs. These cars, not slowing down necessarily, not getting crazy loose or anything, but they're a little less maneuverable.
They are a little bit of a handful as the tires wear, and that's one of the reasons why I'm somewhat surprised that everybody is just gravitating towards that low line. You run just that one groove up, the tires are in a lot better of a position.
Yeah. The only thing I'm thinking is guys were thinking that we weren't going to run, entire stunts. So kind of curious here. I'm going to guess Robert Morrison and Nick Wing are going to pit here. They last pitted at 17 and 16, so...
Yeah, it was the last round, and I don't know if...
I'm wondering if Morrison's just trying to get that lap led. Yeah, I'm not really sure.
But this should be the 1 degree.
Yeah, that 100% lights and pace car went off. I'm not quite sure what his end game is here.
Well, you do absolutely love the odd strategy, so...
This is an odd strategy. You're right about that. Maybe he's figured out something that I'm not aware of. I'm a little puzzled by this one, though.
Again, and we see a bunch of people make their way into the pits to top off once again. One of them is Matt Wagner, Bud Steele, Charles Johnson, Dean Wilkinson. All those guys came into the pits once again, and they're going to need to scoot to get themselves into position.
I think they're okay. They're coming around here about to get on the back stretch. They're all right. Yeah, we're going to see if Morrison's going to pull down the pits here. The only thing I think is maybe he wasn't aware of how many laps there were left, and because he's got to be suffering for fuel right now.
This could end poorly.
But sure could.
Lap sled.
Yeah, no, I mean we'll see.
Alright, he's in that Geico restart zone. Wait until the last second. Green flag is flying, but that's gonna waiting that long. Gabe Butler was able to time that perfectly. He's got Seth Groover right behind him. And that 84, he's going to lose some positions. But Gabe Butler's going to try to pull him a little bit.
Yeah.
Gentlemanly of him.
Gabe has loved that bottom line all night. Just been trying to stay on it all night. Now the game becomes how many laps is Art Morrison going to have before he has to pit here. A little bit of an aggressive move there from Eric Laurie. Oh, there, that was Peter Borgia.
No, it's Peter Borgia. Yeah, the fact that it is a John Deere car for one, and the other is
something along the lines of City Chevrolet. Oh, here he comes. He must be out of fuel.
Yeah, there we go. That's kind of what we were expecting. He did come in late on that last round, but yeah, have your fun at the front.
The only thing I can think of is he was thinking maybe there'd be a quickie caution, and then,
No, he's going back around. I'm not sure what's going on.
I'm a little speechless now. We'll go back up here to the leaders. take a look here as those boot knocker guys are hooked up, and right now the group of boys are separated.
Well, but not by much, and of course, Seth has one of the boot knocker guys right behind him.
Yeah, and if there's about out of everyone in the field, I think Dude Conrad is one of the guys I'd love to have pushing me. He's a good pusher.
I mean, to be completely honest, if you want to have that exhilarating thrill of fearing for your life while being pushed, you want Seth Groover behind you. But you can be real fast, but you're on that razor's edge, and honestly, that's kind of why I like racing.
No doubt about that. It's a little terrifying. It's like skydiving.
Yeah, you're having a great time. But you're also still.
Oh, we see Jim Brooks there making a move.
Yeah,
he's making a move.
Just,
but...
no, he's where he wants to be right now.
Yeah, I definitely not in a bad position. I feel better about where he's at right now than where he was earlier. I mean, top 10, that's okay.
Yeah. If you're not gonna win, you just need to be in the front with no incidents, because this is the standard points for stock cars. You don't really gain that much by being 10 over, or you don't gain much being like 5th over 10. It's 5 points.
Right.
So why not just have yourself a clean race and get those 5 points back by being clean?
Oh, and Robert Morrison finally coming into pit here.
So we now know what the actual limit is.
I
it's
think,
about, I'm going to say 24 laps.
Well, but that was with some cautions thrown in, and I think just by his pace there at the end, I think he was in extreme fuel save mode, hoping for a caution.
I mean, he went essentially 20... I can't math right.
Yeah,
he went 26.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 24 would have been about where he was. So 23 is probably the absolute limit of these guys.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we can stay green long enough without a caution coming out right as they're about to have to do stops.
Well, that's why we need to have a caution. If we're going to have one, now's the time to do it, to make it to where there's going to be somebody, cough, cough, guy out, cough, cough, who will try to find a way to make that work.
Well, we got 30 to go. I don't think he's going to make 30 work.
He would try. You know very well, like I do. He's going to try.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. Let's see what our buddy Brandon Briggs again here. Up 17 spots in that 18 car. Having a good, strong run.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with what he's doing as, no problem. There we go. Robert Morrison, he's slowly dropping back and everybody. And there's the caution. I heard it coming from the tires. And yeah, that's...
Let's take a look, see what happened. So we've got Robert Morrison there. All right, so let's rewind that one more time. Take it in, because that's the 73 of Richard Bernius there. Bernius is definitely a little high, in my opinion.
Well, but
he's 3 wide there. Morrison's got to be further up against the wall if you're being lapped. Yeah,
we're seeing this incident in the same place.
Oh yeah, the tri-oval is a nightmare.
It is the worst, and especially with how close you get with all these cars. And unfortunately, I'm the one that just cursed us into this.
Yeah, you did. You really did. Man, now, okay. right. This is a little interesting.
Yes.
I think,
Everybody's going to come into top off after.
yeah.
Guarantee that. But yeah, this is where it gets fun.
I think if we stay green, I don't think you can make it.
Oh, I don't disagree that you can't. I just want somebody to try.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Now, I will say this. I think if a caution comes out, there may be an opportunity for someone to stay out.
But I don't want that to happen.
And looks like the 909 may have just driven through. But look who's leading our race right now.
They just mowed through, hoping that, because if you don't go in on the first time around, you can't go in the second time.
Gotcha. So they were trying to get that lap led.
Yes, and I think that Nick Wing didn't realize that Gael did exactly that.
Well, yeah, it's complete madness on pit road, right? You don't know who's pitting and who's not, and yeah. Honestly, interesting though. Gael does that after he had told us that he wasn't really concerned about points, and that's all this is at this point.
Yeah, he does that. He does all that kind of stuff all of the time.
So the expectation here is that those two guys will drop down the pit road here, and the lead will go back to Gabe Butler, who, if he hasn't led every lap, that's unexpected.
I think he's going to go in this time.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to green. Or
We're going to green. Gael's trying some tricks again.
Yeah, I'm listening to the call over. He was thinking that there was going to be one more lap
Oh, Gael.
under caution, and he may be able to get a few good laps in, and since we're 25 laps to go when we go green, there's a chance
Honestly,
that chaos is going to come quick.
honestly, this is, I think, may have been what happened to Robert Morrison as well. Like I think, in your head, when you're out on track, you don't necessarily think in terms of laps when it comes to cautions. Not like, at a deep level. You think in terms of time. And the caution laps here go by so much faster than the other super speedways that you don't even realize how many laps you've run. And yeah, I think the exact same thing happened to Bernie or Morrison.
Well, that is I've never even thought about it that way. But I would honestly say, again, we're 25 laps to go. If there's going to be chaos early, we're at the point that it is. And there goes the pace car to let Gael lead us to the green. Godspeed, sir.
And green flag is out. Gabe Butler gets another great jump. He has these restarts figured out.
Well, he does exactly what I've done in other specific races, and it's, where the flag's going to fly because they're going to throw it the second that leader hits the end of the restart zone, so you can time that pretty easily. And you can see when they're there earlier than they can because you can see it. But that outside line, man, are they flying. They've got 3 teammates locked up, and the 40 almost takes out that low line, and now we see that chaos afterwards. And, well, he got down there eventually.
May have tried to pull down a little too early. But yeah, that was almost really bad there.
Spotters get fired for things like that.
Yeah.
But now the 8 is pushing on that outside with Patrick Groover just giving him a massive shove.
Yeah, I think Dude Conrad here is thinking if he can get up to the front, he's going to drop down there in front of his teammates, or alternatively could just hang out in the front and they control both lanes.
I'm gonna lean towards that.
Well, I know it's something you like to do. I've always preferred the option of I'm not going to help someone who's not my teammate. The bottom line has been stronger tonight, so maybe just get down there with your teammates. And also, I mean, honestly, if you're racing for a championship, as Jim Conrad is, Gabe Butler's a tough competition in this race. So you get in front of the guy you think most likely to beat you.
Well, but you're looking at it from that kind of a standpoint. I mean, I just kind of, I'm in just roll with it mode at this point, because Gael's going to have to come from that. Oh, no, Gabe Butler's going in this time according to the radio. So all of these guys are planning on getting that stop done quickly. And that's going to, save Gael, even though he's going to go...
Oh, wreck it!
And there it is. That saved Gael. And unfortunately, all of those guys who went down, they're probably going to get a penalty for entering closed pits because they weren't committed, according to iRacing, before the caution.
Including Gabe, because I thought he might have been across.
He may have.
We'll have to wait and see.
But they just drive straight through, which tells me nope.
Well, I mean, they may be driving straight through because they don't want to lose a lap here. But I don't know. I genuinely don't know. We'll have to see. But let's go back and take a look at that incident there, if I can find it. There's so much stuff.
Larry Fairman is the first one I see.
All right, so we've got those cars. Oh yeah, the 10 car just hits the back of the 071.
And
I'm gonna guess Eric Laurie was braking to get down for the pits, and
wasn't as far down as he thought. Oh no, if you rewind it ever so slightly, you can see that they did not. Because there is...
Oh, yeah. The light was up there. They did not make it. Wow. Huge implications for this race and for the championship.
But there's going to be time for them to get themselves back up to the front. That pit stop was perfectly timed for them. But yeah, I'm listening to the driver radio, and those guys definitely, they got popped.
Wow.
Which is unfortunate. Like, that is the worst feeling in the world, that it's not really anything that you did to give yourself that penalty.
Yeah, 100%. And, that's the danger of being the first to pit, right? I mean, that's... one of the reasons why I try to stretch it out a lot of times, especially at a track where tires aren't going to matter, or matter as much. But yeah, tough break for our Gabe Butler here, who has dominated this race.
Oh, and that's exactly it. It's really one of the most unfortunate things. But what we have seen so far, these guys, they're going to be able to make moves. They'll find it.
Yeah, I agree with you. They'll find a way. We'll have to see. I don't like. Gabe Butler's currently sitting in 17th. I don't think he's going to finish in 17th. I don't know that he's going to be able to get back to the front, but it's going to be fun to watch him.
Yeah. This is going to create some of the best racing that we will see tonight.
Yeah,
I think that there's going to be a little bit more urgency come next week.
I'm going to shoot up here to Jim Brooks, who is going to be restarting here in 10th, our current points leader. Going to be restarting right behind Gael, so this worked out great for them.
Yeah, that brings the team together. You've got Matt Wagner just below them. And unfortunately, well, actually, no. Bud Steele, he may have been involved in that, but he's still out there on track, got to use the fast repair. And pace car is off. So let's see these Groover boys lead that inside line to the green flag. And they go a little bit before, which is what they needed to do to be able to fend off that outside line. The problem is the O2 is a little bit more distant, and that outside line is right tucked up together. But I think that shorter distance on the low line is going to give them that opportunity. But now it really comes down to what is that outside line going to do? Are they going to get real racy?
Well, yeah, and especially someone like Duke Conrad now, who suddenly doesn't have teammates up there with him anymore. He's in a very different position than he's been in basically all race.
But at the same time, you got Nick Wigner. He's doing a fantastic job trying to push him along. But I don't know if I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Yeah, well, a big push coming from Wing here. We're going to be able to at least get Conrad up there. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be enough.
Well, the other major thing that we're going to have to contend with is the Groover boys on that low line. The 48's giving them a little more space than they should. And with that little bit of a bobble through the front stretch, that's going to give the outside line an opportunity to get a little bit more of a push. And now we see them separating a little bit more. The O2's going to just drive right up to the bumper.
I thought he was about to hit him.
I thought he was going to hit him off. He was going to bump draft him without being square in the 09. That's a little too close.
Yeah.
A little too close for net code.
Well, honestly, I was expecting a little bit more chaos with, sort of the mix-ups. So, real quick, obviously we got some racing going on here. We're going to cut back to Gabe Butler, who has really just been insanely good in this race, but currently running 18, has not been able to move through the field.
Well, there's just not the space. You can't go free the wide like you can at Talladega, which, I mean, you can even do that at Daytona. It's just a lot sketchier. But, yeah, he's going to need some people to start.
Oh, there he goes 3 wide. He thought about it.
He kind of hip checks to move the 65, Ed Williams Jr. down, and he's going to go ahead and back off again.
He's trying to get runs is all he's doing.
Yeah, but there's not going to be anywhere to go, especially with how tightly packed this front is right now. There's literally no space.
Back up to the front. We see here Duke Conrad may have led that lap. I couldn't tell, but definitely is hanging with this inside line.
He did by 9 thousandths of a second. But I think what we were seeing is the bottom line was dominant. I don't think it was because the bottom line was dominant. It may have just been because Gabe Butler was.
Well, yes and no. I mean, with the exception of a couple of really well-timed restarts where the outside line just didn't get organized, I felt like the lines were about even. Which, going back to what you were saying at the beginning of the broadcast, was a little surprising because you would have kind of expected the outside line to have a little bit of advantage. But right now, we're kind of back to where we were at the very beginning of the race, where the 2 lines are kind of, ooh, we got someone in the wall.
That is the worst place for it to be, because that's where we've seen all the cautions come from, but we keep it together.
I don't know how we just didn't have a wreck there. I thought someone nearly rear-ended him there, the 052 of Joe Della Vecchia. Man, I really thought that was going to be a wreck, but we are still green.
And the worst part is in those situations, a lot of people will end up calling it out amongst your teams, and everyone will kind of lift, which is why we're seeing a little bit more space.
Yeah, well, and honestly, that lifting can sometimes make it even worse for wrecks. Just kind of amplify the entire situation, but I mean, you got to call it out when you see it. Oh, look here, look at this.
That was a push. And Dude Conrad could drop himself down and...
Oh, break it.
And we have another caution. Oh, that is rough.
Very unfortunate. We were having some great racing there. Let's see if we can take a look, see what happened here.
Yeah, well,
Larry Fairman was already going around at that point. Let's see if we can rewind a little bit.
I think he got a little bit of a nudge.
Oh, from Mr. Gabe Butler, maybe? I don't know that he got a nudge or not. Let's try a different camera.
I don't know if that angle's not going to tell us much. I think we may need to go on board with Gabe right there.
That was either netcode or he lost it on his own.
I'm going to say netcode. Yeah, I'm going to call that one netcode because that didn't look...
Let's go ahead and try it on board, and actually, let me. There's a nose camera, right?
I do believe, yes.
Try the nose camera here. Nose. We'll go to Gabe Butler. Let's take a look, see what we had here. You see Larry Fairman directly in front of him.
I think, yeah, that nose camera. If there's contact and not netcode, you're inside.
Yeah.
Like, there is no... you cannot see that Camaro logo.
Well, you know, I was about to say who that helped out was Gabe Butler, but I think he moved up to 13th. He did just pit. Only dropped him back 2 spots. Not sure if he had damage there or if he was just trying to top off, maybe get some fresh tires.
If he's going to come out at roughly the same spot, why not?
Yeah, I mean, drop 2 spots from it. I imagine Fairman might have to pit, although you would expect him to pit already if he did. So Fairman's car looking pretty rough, but still out there. Front end's fine, so.
The front end is not fine.
Oh yeah, that's pretty crumpled. It looked pretty okay from the side, but that splitter's all messed up. Yeah, it's pretty rough looking.
Yeah. It's gonna be. Whew.
Honestly, if my car's wrecked up like that, I'm staying out. And it could also be he's asked people like, "Hey, how's my car look?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, it looks great from my mirror." And you know, the mirror's just not really doing it justice. But if he knows it has that much damage, that's one of those things where that as far back as he is, even if he doesn't have a fast repair, I'm just going to come in and take some repairs. Because as it is now, he's going to be a brick.
Yeah, but everybody around him's a little bit of a brick too.
Yeah. And if you were on the track, all of them would be, or at least one of them would be a little bit of a, well, sorry, that's not a brick, sorry. Well, Dude Conrad does have our lead, but it still worked out. The Groover guys still connected. And honestly, I mean, I think if they had their choice, I think they were enjoying the outside line earlier. So we'll have to see if this can work out for them. I definitely think I would want to be on the outside on this last lap.
I agree, and I think it's funniest because basically it's the same pairs at the front, just swapped lanes.
Yeah, 100%. But I feel like with that outside lane, you can lean on a guy a little bit harder up there, and maybe get a run outside, you know, exiting the corner and take the lead of the race across the finish line as pace car pulls off. We'll be going green here with 5 laps to go. Green flag is out. And we see our front row get a good jump there. Not necessarily something you want to have, but behind them, especially that 0-2 of Seth Groover there, gets up on Patrick Groover very quickly and is going to start pushing him.
Honestly, I think that the level of aggression from those two is going to dictate whether we have another caution or not.
Well,
because Bud Steele's right there as well, and if he runs the race that I'm used to seeing from Bud Steele, this is gonna, that outside line's winning.
All right, who just led that lap?
Um, that was Patrick Groover. By
Okay.
4,000ths of a second.
So that's what we might be looking at. But yeah, that's what I said at the beginning of the broadcast, or earlier in the broadcast. These two guys, I feel like with that aggression level, are either one of them's either going to win the race or they're going to cause a wreck. So far, they've looked clean. I haven't seen anything I would. Oh, that's Seth Kruger. I'm not sure if he was thinking about passing Patrick there or not, but definitely got on his inside a little bit.
Well, I think it's either both or they aren't going to separate. It looks like they may reach the point that both of them are going to be able to get clear of that 8. But with the level of speed that they have as the 909 does...
Oh, going around. Oh, that's our points leader, Jim Brooks.
And we're going to...
Oh.
And Matt Wagner. Matt Wagner is dead. Oh, Jim, that's the worst thing we could have seen.
Yep. But
that is going to make it very tight going into next week.
Yeah, it sure is. But let's take a look, see if we can see what happened here, because Jim Brooks... Oh, was that Matt? I think Matt just spun. Jim.
Oh, Matt. If there is one thing I have learned, Matt is much better at being pushed than being the pusher.
Come on, Matt.
But
a little kiss there.
Oh, that
was sweet.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
But I'm almost positive that Jim still has his fast repair.
Yeah, I think he should as well, but it's really track position that's going to hurt him. He's not going to be able to make up much ground. That, for someone who had just such an incredible run all night, that sucks. I hate seeing that. But I'll tell you who
taking tires and did get the fast repair. So
yeah, I'll tell you who that. I kind of wish that I had like a little soundboard and I could play like the Jaws theme, because look who's sitting here in 10th.
I don't think it's gonna unless we have another incident very quickly. I don't think he's gonna be able to really be knocking on the door.
I agree.
But is there a possibility that we're still going to be talking to him tonight? Yes.
Especially, again, it's been like foreshadowing all night. We've been talking about the Groovers and how they are either going to win the race or cause a wreck. If they cause a wreck, suddenly...
that's assuming that he's not caught.
Well, but so far, all of the wrecks have happened near him, and he's missed them. I'm just saying, every wreck so far since he had that pit road incident that was not his fault, but every wreck since then, every caution has benefited him.
If you stay out of it, that's all that matters.
We are going to have a shootout to finish this race. Our sixth caution tonight. Was not expecting, have this many cautions tonight with the way the previous races went. 2 cautions in our first one, 4 cautions for the second one. Hopefully we can end it here, but I'm not so confident that we're not going to have another caution.
I'm going to disagree.
All right.
I think at this point these guys have realized the field has thinned, and it's time to go ahead and, let's keep calm. Okay, I'm hopeful.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's what's going to happen at all. I think we've got, especially, you've got only one guy in the top 4 that's racing for the championship, and then you look at all that green behind him. You've got guys that realize with next week being the last race, they are going to do everything they can. They're not going to drive stupid, but they're going to be aggressive to try to make up as much ground as they can. And that's, when you have multiple guys doing that, that's when cautions come out. We'll have to see.
Well, that's true, and Bud Steele is looking like he's going to be the biggest winner out of all of this, as they bring themselves to the line. It's green, white, checkered time. And they are off, and Duke Conrad gets an amazing jump. The Groovers are left standing.
Oh, it was more than just an amazing jump. Nick Wing gave him a heck of a bump. But the Groovers now will have an opportunity if Decker can get on there, and also Gael Brooks. If they can stay lined up, look at them moving. They are making up ground in a hurry.
Well, that's assuming we can keep it clean through these turns to get ourselves to the white flag, which I'm hopeful that we can, but those Groover boys are really, they're going to make this a fight to the checkered flag as the 909 jumps out of line. That's going to cause a lot of chaos as we're going 3 wide. Patrick Groover drops down to the front of that inside line. And I think that is going to be the move. The 909 is going to get turned
around.
And that is going to wreck the field. We have 3 cars coming to the line, coming through turn 3. And it's Patrick Groover followed. Oh my God, I can't even do this. But these guys are coming to the line. The 8 pops out. The 01 drops down, takes the win. Oh, dude, Conrad takes second with Seth Groover rounding out the podium tonight.
Hey, I don't want to take anything away from these guys, but look who finished 4th.
Of course.
He got through that wreck. I don't know how he keeps doing it, but Gabe Butler somehow has gotten through another wreck. But what a run by these Groover guys. That was incredible.
What week is it? 11?
Yep.
And how many winners?
I believe we've had 11 different winners.
Oh, man.
I want to go back while we're honestly, if I can find it again here, I think that was right around the white flag when Groover made that incredible move. So I can find it here. Yeah, so we're going to speed it up here.
We see that little bit of chaos from the 909 trying to get himself into position. They fan out 3 wide. The 01 just drops down, and it's just like, nope, that is my line now.
Yeah, that move by Patrick Groover there, the move of the season, in my opinion. That was absolutely incredible. Just an incredible move. I am stunned by it. And that's what won him the race.
Oh, that was a great race. No 0x for those guys.
Let's take a look at our results. In first, Patrick Groover, followed in second by Duke Conrad. Third is Seth Groover, and in fourth, Gabe Butler. Fifth is Bud Steele, and in sixth, Ryan Decker. Seventh, Charles Johnson, and in eighth, Nick Wing. Ninth is Robert Morrison, and in 10th, Ed Williams Jr. 11th, Gael Brooks, and in 12th, Jim Brooks. 13th is Peter DeBorgia, and in 14th, Larry Fairman. 15th is Eric Laurie, and in 16th, Dean Wilkinson. 17th, Brandon Briggs, and in 18th, Matt Wagner. 19th, Frank Ranger Jr., and in 20th, Bob Fitzgerald. 21st is Joe Delabachia, and in 22nd, Edwin Outlaw. And finally, rounding out the field in 23rd is Richard Bernius. All right, so how about we go ahead and pull up our third place finisher, good friend of ours, Seth Groover. Seth, it's Josh and Carlton Booth. Get a copy?
I do.
Hey, man, that was a pretty wild finish there. Tell us a little bit about your race tonight.
Dude, that was a fun race. I wish you guys were out there, but yeah, good race. Surprised to pull it off because Patrick hasn't raced in a while, so that's pretty happy for him. But yeah, good race, fun racing with dude, and I just don't want to cause any trouble for these playoff guys, but it's always fun racing hard with them.
Well, and that's what we were saying pretty much the entirety of the night was with you guys. It's a level of aggression that we appreciate when we're out on track. However, some of these guys may not, but when you two are linked up, it's 100% just go for it.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's all we got is one speed and it's go. But not you can play it easy too. I tried to I kind of switched my strategy. I pit and topped off because I thought we were gonna have a long green flag run there, and that was gonna save fuel. But then I was like, screw it, I'll go up to the front.
Well, so and talking about what Josh said, I had said earlier in the broadcast, I said, looking at you guys, you were either going to win this race, one of the two of you, or you were going to wreck the entire field. You guys were really aggressive. But I want to ask you about that move that Patrick made, on that last lap, dropping to the bottom. How'd you feel about that? Do you feel like you got left out to dry a little bit?
Oh, when I took 3 wide, or
yeah.
yeah.
When you're
I didn't. I honestly, I had to ask Patrick. I was like, "Am I 3 wide?" Because I honestly couldn't tell, and I'm glad I moved up. I think dude took somebody in the middle, or somebody did. But yeah, I'm glad I moved up because it was close, and I thought we were gonna wreck.
Yeah, I think that was Nick Wing trying to make a move on the last lap. I took it 3 wide. Yeah, so really, really good run for you tonight. Do you have any shout outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Yeah, I'm sure my mom is out there watching. My mom and dad. So hi to them. And I want to say thank you guys for broadcasting. I like listening to you guys, but and I like racing with you too for sure. But yeah, to my parents, thank you, Gael, and for putting this on for sure, and everybody. I feel bad for Matt. He had a bad night, but yeah, we'll get him next time.
And just so you know, I would assume it's your mom is Karen.
Yes.
Yeah, she got to see it.
Nice, nice.
All right. Well, it was good talking to you, Seth. We'll let you go and
Yeah.
have a good rest of your evening.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right.
How about we pull up second place, Mr. Dude Conrad?
Going, fellas.
Dude, I feel like I've talked to you a lot this season. Second place finish, not too bad. How you feeling?
Hey, we got to lead some laps. We stayed out of trouble. Couldn't ask for a better race there.
I think that staying out of trouble is going to be the biggest thing in your quest to get yourself up to the front of this championship going into the last week. How does this change things?
Well, it's so hard to really change anything with 4 races to go. Don't get me wrong, I love it. It's pretty exciting, but just to get out there and get the best finish you can. Really, we was gonna pit with our teammates there, and we couldn't get down, so we stayed out and just got lucky there. The caution come out, and they had to fight to get back up to the front. We just stayed up front, me and Patrick and Seth.
So we saw earlier in the race, you had your teammates on the inside quite a bit, forming a line, and you were kind of on the outside by yourself. Was that just circumstances that you ended up there, or did you prefer running the high line?
No, it's just on the restarts. Start on the outside, and Gabe and Peter would get a run and jump on the inside, and it wasn't nothing that I was staying out there on purpose. It just I wasn't going to wreck anybody to get down.
Just never had an opportunity. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Josh, do you have any other questions?
So, I'm just going to ask this. Nick Wing, have you two run together, or was this just he was...
I tell you what, he did a hell of a job, didn't he?
Yeah. He was doing an amazing job, and the fact that you two weren't coordinating over a chat makes it just that much better.
He knew when to cool off. He knew when to... He did it. He was like one of my teammates, man. He did great. I was telling the guys, like, man, who's this Nick guy? He's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we saw, at the restart there, he gave you a pretty good bump to get the lead. I think that was either the last restart or the one before it. But
both of them,
yeah.
He did that. He did really well. That's just Area 51 getting some good talent in here, man.
For sure. Well, before we let you go, put you back with your team, you got any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Just congratulations to Patrick. He was up front all day long, and him and Seth are real, real good. It's hard to beat them when you come to these kind of tracks, and they had their stuff together tonight. Our team had a little bad luck, but we'll get it done this last race. Just thank you guys, and Gael, for all the hard work he does with Area 51, and we'll keep it coming.
All right, well, we'll let you go, dude. Good talking to you again, and hopefully hoping you have a good week next week.
10-4, guys. Thank you.
All right, that was Dude Conrad, and how about we go ahead and pull up our final person here, our winner, Patrick Groover. Hey, it's Josh and Carl in the booth. Get a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, I would say that was a pretty good run tonight. We're up front quite a bit, and obviously won the race. How you feeling?
Oh, pretty good. That was a lot of fun. First race back, I took a little break, and it's cool to get the win on the first race back after a big break.
It was also the 11th unique winner in 11 weeks this season.
Really? Oh, that's cool. I'm glad I kept the trend going there.
Yeah, every week we thought that it was going to end, but I've got to ask you because I've covered almost every race this season. I think I missed one. But you dropping down to the bottom on that last lap, I think without a doubt was the move of the season. Was that something you had thought about doing from the beginning, or was that just like pure instinct?
Yeah, I knew. Well, I've got my brother up top there, and he said just take it. So I said all right. So I just went to the bottom because I knew, I kind of figured that bottom line would be stacked up, which would bring a big run, and so I just blocked that line and it just pushed me forward.
Well, and just so you know, your mother was watching.
Oh
and
yeah.
Got excited.
Oh no, she didn't say anything embarrassing, did she?
Absolutely not.
Oh, that's cool.
But you guys were just, and Carl, we said it with Seth. You guys, when you get together, it's like being on a razor's edge with how aggressive you guys are, but it makes for such amazing racing, and at the same time, us a lot of moments where we're wondering if you guys are going to wreck the field.
Yeah, well, we're pushing, but that's what you can do when you're a twin.
Well,
Yeah.
I've got to ask you. I mean, obviously Seth was behind you for the most part. I don't think he was. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think you were ever pushing him, right?
Yeah, I pushed in the middle of the race there.
Okay.
He was there. I think he got a lap lead, which was cool.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he's in the race at all for points, but
Yeah,
that was cool.
I don't think he's in it either. I think he's missed a lot of the races. But I wanted to ask you, like when you're getting pushed like that, obviously there's a lot of chatter that has to go back and forth, a lot of coordination. How many times do you have to ask him, like, hey, that's a little too much, or was it always good?
Yeah, no, I trust him, and that's when you're out there leading, you almost just have to trust that guy behind you, but I've raced so much with Seth that I know he's good, so I trust him not to spin me out.
Right on. Well, before we let you go, you got any shout outs you'd like to give?
Oh yeah. Shout out to Gael and this whole Area 51 crew is awesome. I love racing here. Thanks for having me back, and to you guys for broadcasting. You guys do great. I watched you guys last week. You guys do a great job, so thanks. And then thanks to Seth for helping me there. And then I got a shout out to my mom for watching and love her.
Awesome. Well, will we see you back next week?
Possibly. We'll see.
Okay. Great.
You got to go for the first double win.
Yeah.
Oh right. Yeah. That'd be cool.
All right. We'll let you go.
So,
have a good rest of your evening.
Yeah. You too, guys. Thanks.
All right. Well, that is going to wrap it up for us tonight. It looks like points have not been posted yet. But did you have any final thoughts, Laston?
No, I just, again, I'm not a huge fan of the Atlanta repave, but nights like tonight where we got to see an exciting finish make me really kind of appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I think this was the best race I've taken part of this season, and on that note, just to let everyone know, for everyone that's watching, I will be missing the final race next week. Unfortunately, I will be in Tennessee for the IndyCar race. And then I think that's probably going to do it for me broadcasting for a little while. Some changes happening in my life. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for watching this season, for interacting in the comments. I've had a great time doing this. And on that note, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. On behalf of myself, Josh Laston, the entire Green White Checker crew, so long and have a good evening.